Alright guys, we're back. Last time we met Fuyu, who wants to take back Mirari back to her pack. And of course, well, it seems that Mirari doesn't want to go back. And now it seems that I'm taking care of both of them. And now right now they fell asleep after eating. Let's continue with the story then. Seriously? Don't you think you should at least wait for the food to settle first? So full. Toma, you should eat more too. I already ate plenty, thank you. Though it was nothing compared to what the two of you ate. Shortly after the three of us finished eating, Mirari and Fuyu both let out big yawns, then curled up next to one another on the couch, sharing their body warmth. As I imagine they would often do out in the snow, the two girls snuggled up close to one another with looks of contentment on their faces. Sheesh, I want to tell them off for going to sleep right after eating, but when I look at them both like this, without realizing it, I begin to smile. Just yesterday I found Mirari on the floor, cold and shivering as she narrowly avoided death. Then today Fuyu suddenly barged into my cabin. She's been running her mouth all day, and we haven't enjoyed a moment of silence since she arrived. But for now, if only temporarily, the two girls seem to be at peace, sleeping soundly, comforted by the presence of their partner. The two wolf girls look like a pair of young pups, clinging to one another in a familiar environment. Previously afraid for the other's safety, they have now found one another once more and can finally be at ease. I suppose I can let Fuyu stay for tonight as well. I'd feel bad trying to separate the two of them now. Besides, I've been alone out here for a long time now. A day or two in the company of these girls shouldn't kill me. I enter my bedroom for a moment and open the closet. A few seconds later, I return with a blanket in my arms, which I then use to cover the girls. Even if you leave this cabin tomorrow for tonight, you two are my guests, so sleep well. Resisting the urge to ruffle the girls' hair as they sleep, I return to the kitchen with our bowls and utensils to clean up. For now, I'll let the girls rest, and tomorrow we'll see what awaits us. Aren't you a nice guy, helping strangers? Alright, the next day. I wake up bright and early as the morning sun lights up my room. In spite of all the hellish blizzard from 2 days ago, it seems that the weather has begun to clear up and the freezing cold is becoming more tolerable by the day. At this rate, I'll soon be able to go outside without overdressing. Really, I think it's still pretty cold though. Filled with optimistic thoughts, I leave my bedroom and return to the main living area. The moment I enter the room, a strong odor reaches my nose and I instinctively turn to look toward the kitchen. Come on. Isn't it done yet? No matter how many times you ask, breakfast isn't going to be ready any quicker. If you're looking for something to do, why don't you wake up Toma? I'd rather smother him in his sleep. Just you try it, little girl. See what happens. Okay, she screams. Fuyu jumps back in surprise and she suddenly hears my voice directly behind her. Whoa. Oh, Toma, you're awake. I sure am. Is that good or bad? If you're just in time, breakfast will be ready shortly. Please take a seat. I'll bring the food out when it's ready. Oh, okay. I'll leave it to you then. Having no intention of stopping Mirari while she's cooking, I do as she suggests and sit down on the couch. Growl. miserable human preying on the princess' kind nature. Oh, shut up. It's not like I asked her to cook my breakfast or anything. Besides, you seem pretty eager to take advantage of her kindness yourself. Just a second ago, you were sitting on the floor with your tail wagging like a dog, waiting for its master to feed it. A dog? You're comparing me to a dog? Well, yeah, that is what you look like. Besides, dogs and wolves are pretty much the same anyway, right? Do not insult me, human. Wolves are nothing like dogs. I smirked to myself as I enjoyed Fuyu's reaction. Oh, how so? I thought dogs and wolves were descendants of the same ancestors. That doesn't mean we're the same. You wouldn't mix up a human and a monkey, would you? Dogs are pitiful. Subservient creatures who only know how to bow before human beings. Wolves, on the other hand, are proud hunters who don't need the help of any other race to survive. So a proud, independent creature like a wolf would never do something like, I don't know, sleep in a human's cabin and eat their food? Fuyu's face contorts in displeasure. Her claim of independence holds little weight at the moment, given our current predicament. Oh, that's different. Is it? Growl again. Well, what about you? Me? Yeah. What are you even doing out here? This is no place for a human being to live. What, are you exiled or something? Is this your punishment? Were you caught doing something heinous and banished from society forever? Yeah, that must be it. You did something unforgivable and you were sent out here to live the rest of your days in solitude. How can I have missed this before? Now I feel in danger just being in the same room as you. A look of panic expressed across Fuyu's face as she slowly backs away from me. Would you please stop smearing my good name? I moved out here of my own free will because I don't get along well with other people, that's it. Hearing my explanation, Fuyu stops backing away and begins to look at me with eyes filled with curiosity. You don't like humans? That's the short version, yeah. Then what about us? You and Mirari? Yeah. You let us both into your home. You forced your way into my home. And you haven't tried to kick us out or anything? Is having us here causing you distress? Not particularly. I almost replied yes without thinking, but before I can do, Fuyu's puppy's dog eyes kick in once more. Looking at her pitiful, pleading eyes, I can't bring myself to call her a nuisance. I don't know. It's a bit weird to have you two here, but it's not the same feeling I get when I'm around other people. Honestly, I'm having a hard time thinking of Fuyu as a person. She really does seem more like a mischievous puppy than a rebellious young woman. Maybe it's because I like animals, but I guess you two aren't so bad. That's my impression so far though. Given another few days, I might think quite differently. Is that so? Fuyu analyzes my answer carefully. She doesn't appear to be particularly invested in my answer, nor does it bring her any joy. Her question was one posed out of curiosity, with no ulterior motive. Well, I wouldn't worry about you changing your mind. After all, the princess and I won't be staying long enough for you to get sick of our company. No matter how warm it is here, we must return to our pack as soon as possible. That works for me. A couple of nights is more than enough. I've done my good deed for the year now, and I just want to be left alone. I nod in agreement with Fuyu's statement. I understand. I won't try to stop you from returning to your pack. As soon as the two of you are ready to leave, I'll see you off. Good. Okay, princess, it's time to go. Fuyu. What are you talking about? Please don't play dumb, princess. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You had your fun, now it's time that we return to our pack. Already? Well, we only just... That's my point. We must leave now before we grow accustomed to this lifestyle. No, they're leaving. Relying on humans is no good, princess. We must return to our own kind. Once the three of us have finished eating breakfast, Fuyu wastes no time before making good on her promise. The satisfied smile indicated indicative of a full belly disappears from her face, replaced by a serious expression and a tone of voice to match. Do we have to go back no matter what? I quite like it here, and... Princess. Pull your grasp Mirari by the shoulder. Do not be selfish. You have troubled this human enough as it is. Not to mention the worry you have no doubt caused our kind. It is time for us to return. But Mirari turns away from Fuyu and casts me a sidelong glance. It's okay if I stay here a while longer, isn't it, Thoma? Princess, I won't cause any trouble or do anything you tell me not to. I'll cook and clean and I'll help out as much as I can. So please. Princess, I avert my gaze as Mirari begins to plead. No matter the reason of her desperation, I can't afford to let her stay. My supplies were really only enough to last me through the winter, and there's also the ethical question of my interfering in half-human affairs. Plus, Fuyu said it herself, Mirari's family and friends are waiting for her. Her place is with them, not here with me. Mirari, please, Thoma, just let me. I place my index finger on Mirari's soft lips. Oh, I actually do that. Silence. Mirari, don't you think you've worried your family enough as it is? You belong with the rest of your pack. I understand. Mirari gives up without a fight as I quickly shut her down. Her eyes downcast, she slowly trudges toward the door, not looking back even once. Thank you for not making this difficult, Thoma. Mirari may act defiant at times, but she's a reasonable person. Hearing you tell her to go home should be enough. Yeah, no problem. Feeling bad about turning Mirari down, I find it hard to look at Fuyu in the eyes. As my eyes wander around the cabin, I suddenly realize something. Oh, hold on a second. Huh? I take a pair of coats off the coat rack and present them to Fuyu. Here, take these. It's cold out there, you'll need to stay warm. In response to my offer, Fuyu shakes her head. I appreciate your kindness, but I'll have to decline. Our tolerance for the cold is significantly greater than that of the humans. If anything less than a blizzard, garments such as those will only get in our way. Oh, I see. I take another look at the outfit Mirari and Fuyu are wearing. Indeed, no human would dare to dress so permanently out here. If these two are comfortable while wearing so little, they must indeed have a far greater tolerance for the cold than I do. In that case, I guess this is goodbye. Maybe I'll see you two again someday. Don't count on it. We live on the other side of this mountain, where it not for the snowstorm we would have never met to begin with. This shall be our final farewell. Confidently asserting so, Fuyu turns her back on me and heads toward the door. As she does, however, Mirari is sad, and she doesn't want to leave. Mirari no longer seems ready to leave. Mirari's eyes shift back and forth. It seems like she wants to say something to me, but can't quite bring herself to speak. Come along, princess. Let us not delay our departure any further. At Fuyu's command, Mirari lowers her head and walks along obediently. Mirari slowly unlocks the door, then regretfully sets foot outside, gently pushed along by her dear friend. Moments later, the door slams shut, and at last, I am all alone once more. Ah, loneliness once again. For the next hour or so, I find myself wandering around the cabin aimlessly. Yeah, because you missed them now. Having already slept and eaten, there's honestly very little remaining that I need to do. I have enough supplies to last for a while yet. It's cold outside and I think about working, and my hobbies are all the types that to be enjoyed while resting idly. Put simply, I'm bored. Solitude may be its own reward, but the cost at which it comes is clear. There's nothing to do here during the colder months, and even when things warm up, the choices can't compare to those available in the city. At least with these two wolf girls around, things were a bit more lively. Other people are a nuisance, but a pet could be just what I need. So you think of them as pets, though? That being said, what kind of pet would be suitable out in the middle of the nowhere like this? Whoa. Giving myself something to think about, I decide to turn on the radio in the kitchen. After adjusting the frequency and waiting for a short while, I am able to receive a weather forecast, which paints a rather placid picture. Maybe I should go out and get some water while it's still mild outside. The weather can change out here at the drop of a hat, so it never hurts to have a surplus. True. I grab my coat and I head to the door, resolving myself to the slightly more active than usual. Before this pleasant weather changes for the worse, I'm going to shore up my supplies, just as any prudent survivor should. Let's get some wood and supplies. Okay, that's what I'm gonna get, right? Oh no, it starts snowing again. Oh, it's back up. Brr. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea to fetch water? Everything has turned to sludge out here. Out there, the entire landscape has changed since before the snowstorm. I hurriedly closed the door behind me as I returned from gathering water. Unfortunately, my trip proves fairly fruitless, as the spring from which I usually gather drinking water has been temporarily blocked off. The snowstorm has shifted the terrain, making my usual routes either inaccessible or far more dangerous than usual. Screw it, I'll just stay inside after all. It may be boring to stay indoors all day, but at least it's safe. Still shivering slightly, I regretfully removed my coat and flopped down on the couch, covering myself with a blanket. Not seeing when I used to cover the two sleeping wolf girls yesterday, I settled myself and tried to make myself comfortable. Let's see now, where did I put the remote? If it isn't within Bronner's reach, I'm not getting up to look for it. I look around the immediate vicinity of the couch. Unfortunately, the remote is nowhere to be seen. It's probably still in the kitchen from when I last watched TV while cooking. I guess I'll just sit here then. What a fun person am I. Huh? I sit in silence and I notice a faint sound. It sounds like a voice, but it's too quiet for me to understand what they're saying. Oh great, now I'm hearing things. May I've lived alone out here for too long after all. It's your conscience, man. I tried to ignore the voice by focusing my mind elsewhere. However, the voice doesn't disappear, it seems to cut in and out with an ample static cropping up in between words. What the heck could that? Alright, the radio. I unintentionally rise to my feet and turns toward the kitchen where I left the radio turned on. Seeing as how it's battery power, I figured it better turn it off if I'm not using it. Before I can do so, however, I hear something ominous from the other end of the radio. Bad weather, incoming, screech. Avalanche last night, bats have changed, advising caution. Phew, it was worse than I thought, huh? No, I'm definitely not going outside. I turned the radio off and grabbed the TV remote, which is sitting in the kitchen's counter. I then returned to the living room and sit down on the couch, remote in hand. Okay, now, where were we? Oh yes, let's find something to watch, shall we? Now, what did I start watching last night? Before I turn on the television, I go wrap myself in the blanket I used to cover myself just a moment ago. The second I go to do so, however, I find a chill run down my spine. Oh shit, the girls. I wouldn't know about the avalanche last night or the bad weather that's about to hit. If they get caught up in that and they find that their path back home has been blocked off, these poor girls might be... I better go find them, yeah. How can I sit back and relax knowing that those girls might be in danger? I can watch TV at any time. For now, I gotta go. I got a couple of wolf girls to track down. Time to search for some girls. Yes. Covered in several layers, I head out in the frozen wasteland before me in search of the two wolf girls. Upon starting my drive, I quickly realized that the cold is the least of my worries. As I noted earlier, the radio confirmed all the usual scenery has changed since I last ventured outside. Familiar landscapes or landmarks are gone, paths have been blocked off, and solid ground has been replaced by sleet. If I'm not careful, I might wind up getting lost or stuck myself. Oh no, man. Maybe this is not a good idea. Okay, now, where do these two girls have gone? Well, they went up the other side of the mountain, right? I've never been to the other side of the mountain, but if memory serves, if I follow a vague recollection I have of a map I purchased when I first moved here, the actual pathways have obviously changed since then, but my memory gives me at least a hint as to the direction in which I should be heading. Now then, if I remember correctly, it should be this road here, or at least it was back when there was a road. Am I gonna get stuck? If I come to a stop as the road I'm following appears to end abruptly, a few hundred feet in front of me where there would be generally a road, there is a huge pile of snow. From my point of view, it is impossible to bypass. Oh man, I guess the road is blocked after all. Maybe there's a path or something that I just can't see from here. If I move in a bit closer... Careful, man. I force myself to get out of the truck, shivering as the blizzard rages. My legs may be weary, but my stomach is full and my body's warm. If those girls are out here, I'm going to find them. Mirari! Fuyu! Are you two out here? No response. Mirari! Fuyu! I call out the girl's name as I head closer to the obstructed pathway. As I near the wall of snow, a vague figure appears up ahead. Squinting, I try to discern the identity of the figure in front of me. Mirari? Fuyu? Toma! Fuyu! Hearing Fuyu's surprised exclamation, I rush over and to the figure up ahead. Once I get closer, I realize it's not just Fuyu, Mirari is with her too. However... Toma, please help me. Mirari suddenly collapsed while we were walking, so I carried her myself, but the path is... I know. Most of the paths have changed, or been blocked off. You won't be able to get through here. Not today. But then, what do we do? Mirari's unconscious. She needs something warm to rest, and something to eat, and... Calm down, Fuyu. If you panic, you're just gonna make things even harder on yourself. For the time being, you're both coming back to my cabin. I'll help you carry Mirari back there, and we'll make sure to keep her nice and warm. No, but we couldn't possibly. I wasn't asking. You take one arm, I'll take the other, got it? Yes, I understand. If it's for the princess, then... Fuyu comes to her senses and grabs hold of Mirari tightly. I do the same, grabbing Mirari's other hand and wrapping her arm around my shoulders. Like so, Fuyu and I begin to carry that unconscious princess back to my truck, braving the hellish blizzard once more. Oh no, I hope she's okay. We're back inside. Through great exertion and with much difficulty, I managed to bring Mirari and Fuyu back to my cabin safe and sound. While the two girls are injured, it seems that they are both utterly exhausted, with Mirari still unconscious and like running a fever. Fuyu is sick with worry and clearly overexerting herself, but the otherwise appears to be fine. How is Mirari doing? Any change? In response to my question, Fuyu shakes her head. So, nothing. The patients won't wake up at all. Ah, too bad. Oh well, just give her time and she'll be okay. I hope so. Fuyu sulks as she shrugs off my optimism. It seems that her concern for her friend is not so easily dismissed. You know, Mirari was in far worse shape when I found her. As long as she's kept warm and given a chance to rest, I think she'll definitely pull through. For the time being, positioning myself directly behind Fuyu, I place one hand on the girl's head. I'm worrying about you, Fuyu. Me? Why would you be worried about me? Is that really so strange? You were out there in that blizzard too, you know. You even wound up carrying Mirari all by yourself before I got there, not to mention the panic and stress you would have been suffering from. So how are you holding up? Do you need anything for you? Is there something I can do for you? Don't be absurd. Your concern is entirely unnecessary, human. Fuyu pouts and turns away with a red tinge in her cheeks. You should focus your attention on Mirari instead. She's the important one here, not me. I would have gladly given my life if it meant bringing her back home, safe and sound. I begin to rub Fuyu's head while chuckling to myself. So what you're saying is you're so concerned for your friend's happiness that you've given up your own life in order for her to achieve it? That isn't what I said. I just don't want the pack to suffer because of that girl's selfish whims, that's all. Yes, I understand. I continue to pet Fuyu as she sulks. Despite her usual temperament, she doesn't push my hand away, nor does she appear to dislike the contact. If she weren't so proud, she might actually give in to the feeling and lean in closer. But you know, Fuyu, as great as it is to be loyal, you shouldn't put so little importance on your own life. Just as your pack misses Mirari, I'm sure they miss you too. And I know for a fact that if you were gone, Mirari would be devastated. So don't throw your life away, okay? Take care of yourself, just as you take care of Mirari. Alright, this is a good place to stop. Well, I kinda pushed the girls away. I wanna be alone, at least the character wants to be alone. I pushed the girls out of my home, but then of course I bring them back because of the weather. Well, I have a feeling that they're gonna stay for a little longer now. Let's just hope that Mirari's okay, that her fever is not as bad. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.